What's up, everybody? How's it going? What a weekend, man. I have a lot of thoughts after this weekend, but the main thing is I was just really happy to be a part of it. I If you asked me when the set first dropped if I'd be commentating Worlds, I'd be like, no way. I'm gonna play because I thought it would be like open invite. But even after the invitations, I just didn't really see that being in the cards going forward. But I made that my goal sometime around, I want to say like June or July. It was probably after like the first provisional I did with Andrew Holder. I said, okay, if I don't qualify for Worlds, my goal is to be a broadcaster, to be a commentator for it. So turned out that that was a realistic goal. So I'm really happy about that. On top of that, it was really awesome to see so many people there for the side events. My biggest fear, you know, once I found out I was doing the commentary, because my biggest fear was not being involved. Um, not having like something to do in an official capacity. I probably would have signed up to judge if they didn't offer me the role as commentator, and I guess I would have done a good job. The only bad call I know about is the one we had on stream. But I wasn't like talking to players and stuff, and I mean they had the most controlled environment they've had all year, right? They had Nilmerg head judging, or maybe not head judging, but like stream judging. So you know, of all the really difficult interactions, because we were playing like the most interactive decks for the most part. I mean, Jiro still made finals, but Jiro's the one who ran into the issues with the drowning and resentment. Like, it's still the best run event I've heard of, right? Like the least faux pas. So major W on that. But my biggest fear was the side events not being filled up. My biggest fear was that there wasn't going to be enough for other people to do. And things were kind of announced pretty late. They were scrambling to get stuff together. And all of this stuff was like originally supposed to be December, but, life is what it is. So early first month, 2023 is a pretty good compromise. So that being said, that the sealed event seemed to be a huge hit. People were digging it. I saw tons of people having fun playing standard, right? I'm trying to think of what the other two were. Is Common Grounds. I didn't hear anyone really talk about Common Grounds. I did talk to a lot of people who I think they went like 3-1, something like that. They went like X1. So a lot of my friends did well in that. And then Dragon's Horde was really hype when people were deck building. Saw all kinds of crazy cool decks. I still don't know if they had the symbol chain for those. That's what I'm most curious about. But the Dragon's Horde event was definitely the most unique. It was definitely like the coolest sounding. And it's the one that probably had the most potential to be like unexciting, I guess, like for you to just like open like nothing that really goes together. Or you just get like a bad mix of packs, not all sets are created equal, especially for like a limited environment. But I didn't hear any complaints. The only complaint I heard was like for the first time people had too much time. Things were not rushed enough. So that's a good sign. Not that they took long, right? Like they were on time, but giving people like the full hour to do a best of one wasn't stuff people really needed. What else? I didn't get to like so I didn't get to do like anything. Whenever I wasn't casting, I was outside trying to get fresh air because it was really warm in that event. That's what happens when you get that many bodies, that much equipment. We're over by all the lights and the cameras and the generators and all that stuff. All the 8 million things plugged in. So Yeah, I was mostly spending anytime I wasn't on stream, going outside, getting fresh air, and chatting with people a little bit when I could. That was mostly possible like day one, day two. What up, buddy? Was great seeing you. 20th best player in the world, and yes, it was hot as hell. Yeah, man. I was super excited to finally meet you in person. I have to tell you right now, I'm terrible with faces and names, so like you might have to introduce yourself again to me in the future, and I hate that, but it was really awesome to see you. And hey man, 20 is pretty good. That is only a grip of people in front of you. Um, and I mean, really, there's only like what 15 people at most in front of you because like the back half of the bracket's pretty much all the same, right? But yeah, talking to all the players, they all had a good time. Nobody was like really upset once they were in Vegas. No one seemed, you know, like no one seemed like like they had a bad experience. Like it didn't seem like anyone didn't end up with a hotel room or couldn't eat at the place. The only person I know of who probably had like a rocky experience was Jesse Cervini, but he seemed in high spirits and his boy won. So he's probably not too upset about it. But Jesse was supposed to do the commentary with us, and he got food poisoning, or in fact, I don't want to like spoil all of his. I want to go anti hippo out here, but he got sick. He wasn't feeling good, and so he pretty much spent the whole weekend in bed. I saw he showed up to the venue like at the very last minute. So that was really sad because if you guys don't know, I was gonna try and do the UK Nationals stream with Jesse. We were supposed to, that was gonna be like his, I think, second event. I think he had to do Omaha. So I was gonna try and have him do that with me. So I was really excited for that. What else? Oh, that's how Ty got involved. Ty was like a last minute addition to the stream. So he did a really good job considering I think he's only done like weeklies before. I don't know if he's like trying to do commentary, right? Like if that's like a role that he has really gone out of his way to pursue and stuff. But I know that they've had him involved and he's got a great attitude and a great passion for the game. So like he's a slam dunk as far as community outreach and like having someone to talk about your game. You obviously want the people who are the most excited for it. So it was amazing. He got the Keenan Meadows interview with the proposal. So that was pretty insane. I really am surprised that he. Oh, I gotta. How do you ban people? Is it not showing up? There it is. Get the fuck out. All right, there we go. So, anyways, where was I? I'm not gonna edit that out either, of course. So Ty got the Keenan Meadows interview, which might actually be the greatest moment of the weekend. Keenan proposing to Ashley was maybe actually the best moment because every world championship is going to have a winner, and not to take anything away from Kevin Broberg at all, who's had the most dominant run. He's been the best performer all year, but how many times are you going to have a marriage proposal? How many times is it going to sync up so that that's like the moment, Yeah, Keenan won the whole thing. He walked in and he said, even if I get 32nd place, I'm going to be the winner. So that was really cool. And then Ty got to do that, which is pretty insane. I'm trying to think. What my favorite part was. I mean, we had the voice actors there, which was really cool. I didn't get to meet them. I'm not like a celebrity guy. It's not really my thing. But Levi got a bunch of stuff signed. So that was really cool. Levi definitely popped out to get some signatures. Uh, they had some guy doing like random interviews, like just pulling like random people, it seemed. And he got Tam and Levi, and he got Cindy Moon and like a couple other people. I only know of those three though, but there's definitely other people involved. And I'm really interested to see what that project was. Because he came over and like explained it to us while we were looking at the set 4 previews. We got spoiled on the whole set, so we could do the commentary along with the judges to get the rules interactions. And he like showed us like this weird picture with like these colors behind it. I don't know. And definitely the best thing was party bus and dinner. Ooh, okay. Okay. I didn't go on the party bus. That's when we were doing the set 4 preview. You know, I don't know if I would have enjoyed the party bus that much unless it was open bar. I don't think it'd be open bar necessarily, but maybe. I do know that it like stops at a liquor store, which is the main reason I don't think it'd be open bar. But tell me if I'm wrong, because you seem it'd be the fastest you ever see a man down like 5 beers. Be like, how far we got? 3 miles to go? Bet. But a lot of champagne. Yeah, that's what I. Okay, yeah, that's what I figure. Free champagne. Free champagne is like the Vegas normal. Like they have brunches, like breakfast buffet slash brunch or whatever, and a lot of those will have free champagne as part of it. And yeah, you see your boy throw back a bunch of champagne at those too. I'll take advantage. You know, sneak one of those tiny little shot bottles of vodka in there and just spike the champagne. Make your own mimosa is also super tight. That's actually one of the few good things about Vegas. Uh, you get to go to champagne brunch and make your own mimosas. So yeah, party bus was a thing. The player interviews were super cool. I'm super happy about that. I wish I could have sat there and listened to more of them. So like whenever they would play them before the game, um, we would try. Levi and I would try to listen to the interview so we would know about the players more and use that for like our winner loser interviews and stuff like that. So I thought the advice that everyone gave for new players was really good. A lot of it was just keep playing, which is actually the best advice. Like on the spot, like what's your best advice? You know, just get more practice. So, you know, that was really cool. I thought, you know, that was basically like Philip C's advice, you know, and we got to work that in at the end, so that was super, super cool. Oh, what else? Great job commentary for the event. It was interesting to watch. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I have been super self conscious about my commentary for the most part, especially with, you know, just to put it out on Front Street, guys like Andrew Holder and Tam Cardwell who are really good at it, who haven't been doing it anymore. And I don't think, if I had to guess right now in this moment, I don't think that they will in the future, but never say never. There's a very good opportunity for Jasco to uh, reignite the passion, I guess is how I'll put it. There's a very good opportunity for Jasco to capitalize on momentum going forward. And so, you know, you never say never in the future. Andrew did behave himself all weekend. I was very proud of him. We didn't get one F bomb from him. So now that Worlds is over, once the check clears, we'll see. Once the check clears, we'll see. Uh, Yo, Sam, wish I could have been there to see you in person again. Yeah, that was the I guess that's the only negative is not everyone was there, right? Like that's the only like true L from the weekend is literally not everyone could make it. So, uh, man, yeah, there's quite there were some notable exceptions from people, and you know if that's the only bad thing, right? If that's like the worst thing to come out of the weekend, then I guess we did pretty good. I guess you could say that that's a pretty nice time. Were you supposed to see Midnight to win? Oh, surprised to see. Okay, I got it now. Were you surprised to see Midnight win? Um, when okay, so when I saw Kevin Broberg and Tim Keefe were on it, and I guess I would assume was Ryan Field. No, I think Ryan Field played Froppy. Huh. I don't know. I guess I assumed all the Rochester guys, but when I knew that Tim Keefe and Kevin Broberg were on it, I was much less surprised. And in this sort of deck building environment, where you know you're going first all day, Midnight is a much better pick. Okay, yeah. Ryan was on the bottom side, right? So Midnight becomes a really nice pick going forward because you know that Chaos has the super good spams, and she has some pretty good, stop action, right? With access to breaker twos and cheerful uppercuts depending on what's needed. So this is something I don't think a lot of people talk about, and I don't have the numbers to talk about. Oh, we're getting started here. I'm just gonna have this playing in the background muted while I talk, just to have something showing. But so you get a good build going first, and then the thing is your turn to attack turn when you go first is generally less sculpted, a little less impressive on average than the hand that you would sculpt if you go second. Um, a lot of that's just because you're going to end up holding attacks and not having a review step for them. Like, or, you have like the one review to draw two, and then once you go into like your second attack turn as a second player, you've just had a little more time to like sculpt and things like that. So, and also a lot of times if your opponent wants to poke, they might have taken some risk and overextended, committed some foundations, things like that. So it might be a little more even than it looks like if the opponent tries to attack. Which is why I think Tokoyami does super good going second, right? He gets like a really powerful style of review. He gets the ability to get that card back most of the time when going second. So Midnight was not what I would have put my money on, though. Then again, I didn't do any analysis after day one. Like, I was tired and I was ready to just see deck lists. But after looking at day one decks, it's not as surprising considering how many people chose to play a character like a Racerhead. You know? Like, Asuis weren't, like, if there was like a ton of Asui, if this was an Asui meta, right? Like, you probably wouldn't have your mind on Midnight because Asui doesn't tend to have a ton of keywords on her attacks, and she doesn't care about somnambulism. But she does care about stuff like cheerful uppercut. So, yeah, I was surprised to see Midnight win, but after round one, after seeing how it could handle like the most aggressive version of like eraser heads and how it could handle like Kirogiri decks, stuff like that, like it was not surprising by the end of the day. Now that you've seen set 4, who are you looking at building? Shigaraki 3. It's a Shigaraki 3 angle probably for a long time. I'm a massive fan of an old character from UFS called Pharaoh Man. I think it's actually criminal how little they've used this design space. He's so simple, actually. He's just your checks your opponent makes during attacks get -1, and enhance your opponent makes a check against a difficulty of 5, which has the -1 to it. And this attack, if it fails, this attack hits +2 damage. He's very simple. He probably would have been a real contender in MHA set 1. Like, he could probably do some work right now with the right kit. His kit was really interesting and cool. Not that you ran a ton of his cards, but the ones you did were like very decision tree heavy. They opened up a lot of different options. So, yeah, this is actually Swiss. I thought this was gonna go into the sealed. That's super funny. This is the day one Swiss. So yeah, I think Shigaraki 3 is definitely the way to go forward. At least as far as like if you want to maximize like your decision making to fun ratio for like every single enhanced step, it's that. Do you think we'll see a ban list before set comes out? Absolutely not. We already saw one. Like, well, okay, well, yeah, we already saw one, right? Like, I don't think Jiro's gonna get touched because Jiro got second place. As much as that shouldn't matter, but it seems to have been the case this whole time. The character's just kind of crazy. So I don't think we'll see a ban list before set 4. I wouldn't be surprised if like Jiro actually wins an event. Like the first, like if Jiro wins Kissimmee and dominates it with some new tech piece, maybe that. If they want to react to what Jiro's doing, they could hit ready, get set, go. Yeah, probably. Probably. Well, that and seizing, right? Like, it's both those. I feel like the Jiro deck is better with seizing in it, even with going second. It just makes more sense to ready, get, set, go going second. I don't know. All I know is that if they ever make like a better way to get momentum on their symbols, we're in trouble. Like if they print like a foundation that flips for momentum instead of removing for momentum on those symbols, we're probably in trouble. Like at least wealthy, like you have to get one first. Interesting. Yeah, I'd have to. I wonder if we'd actually have the bracket available. I don't know how many. There's only like 1 or 2 Jiros that went first, right? There's like 6 Jiros total. I really wish I had this data in front of me now because it's super interesting to talk about. What I want to do is I have a link to the deck list somewhere. Guile sent it to me so we could make content throughout the week. I'm going to go through, I want to go through and look at the usage card by card. Yeah. Yeah, because, yeah. So almost all of them were on ready, get, set, go. It might have been, there was definitely a deck list we looked at. It was a Jiro mirror where the one going first had 4 seizing, and the one going second had ready, get, set, goes. And I believe the one that went second won. I think they won game 1 with ready, get, set, go. I think it was Zane. I think it was the round Zane got eliminated. I think Zane went first. And yeah, Jiro got trashed in Swiss. Jacob Johnson, I think, dropped and went to play standard after like losing 3 games with Jiro or something. So it might be the secret tech. Yeah, I'm very curious what the win rate for Jiro overall is. I would not be surprised if overall throughout the whole year, after every ban list, after every single thing, like Jiro has the most consistent win rate. She might not have the highest, but I wouldn't be surprised if she has like a dip after Unwavering Slash while people figure out the charge builds and good builds and stuff like that. But I don't think that she has the highest win rate, but I could be wrong. Swiss had more 6 hand size aggro going on, less Eraser had also be walking into. Yeah. Yeah, Swiss had some OG rows showing up, and then they all disappeared day 2, right? I don't think there was. I think a lot of the OG rows switched off, and I think Keenan switched on to OG row actually, which is kind of funny. He did pretty good. Keenan still did pretty good. That's a scary deck, man. And the Ojiro decks are scary. Like I'd almost rather have the Ojiro get touched than Jiro, which is super wrong. But Ojiro day 1. Okay. There's also, was it Ryan Field was on Ojiro 1? I actually want to see that deck list. Obviously, he wasn't like super high seeded, but I still want to see that deck list. I think Jasko opened Pandora's box with the erratas and bans already. Now people get bloodthirsty so quickly. They did it to save their game. Like their game would just actually die unless they pumped insane amounts of money into prize pools for like regionals and provisionals, because like Hiroshima 1 and coordinated effort just couldn't exist. Like we've never had that level of dominance, and it lasted for months. People actually had so much time to figure out how to beat Kirishima 1s, but Kirishima 1s were actually so diverse. They actually were on every symbol. And they actually had access to apathetics in set 1. And that was like the worst version, so that should tell you something. Maybe not the worst. I shouldn't say the worst version, but it was like the least successful, I guess. Yeah, Jiro has. So most of the time when you lose to Jiro, it's because you made like either an impossibly difficult mistake, or you had like an impossibly difficult choice on when and where to block, and you just blocked one too early, or you just happened to block the wrong one, or you just checked bad. Like with Ojiro, that inevitability is completely like from the beginning. With Jiro, a lot of the inevitability comes like on the second attack turn, you know. Ojiro's inevitability comes from Student of the Art turn 1, and then 3 attacks that either stun or pump speed. Yeah, Jiro creates a really difficult blocking decision, and I find that a big part of it is I have a block where I check bad on like a 6 or 7 damage sound waves, and I'll have to like tap out or something, and you know, they stacked a home run comment on top that I can't block even if I don't tap out, like, you know, or like you'll have the sound waves and you're like, well, I can't tap out to block this because I have encouraging training partner, and the home run comment kills me on a partial, and then they don't play the home run comment. They just play another sound waves, you know? Or they play like, you know, the string that fucks me up, I'll tell you right now, the string that fucks me up with Jiro is she goes jolt, and you're like, oh shit, this is a great poke, but it's also a charge, so we get to go double jab pummel. And you're like, damn, that's really annoying. I really hope they don't. Oh, they have a second double jab pummel. And you're like, all right, well, I kind of have to block this one because they might be digging, and it's going to put me low enough that my mid block that I have isn't going to help me against any of the other attacks anymore. And then they play sound waves for free, usually through my breaker block that I blocked the mid with. And then they stack a 6 and a home run comment. And then I'm like, okay, well, I cannot respond. Like, I can't deal with this sound waves because I have to deal with this home run comment. And then they just play the double jab and commit 1. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I still have to hold out for this home run comment. And then it's like a pillar swing or another sound waves. And by that point, it's like, oh, well, they just had 6 attacks. Like, what the fuck? You know? And it's always because I blocked that double jab pummel. And I thought that this was going to be the last time my mid block would be useful. So, like, ever since then, I've mind gamed myself in even worse ways. From, like, thinking about blocking the second double jab that's always, like, 8+ damage. So, I don't know what the real solution is. It's probably just to get good and, like, practice your Jiro matchup way more. Sorry. That's probably the truth, is that they don't touch her at all. Nothing changes, and you need to actually just practice which attacks to block and which ones to not. and accept that sometimes you're going to block those attacks and still die. That's card games. What do you think the next meta will look like when set 4 comes out? It's tough to say because I've only seen these in sealed with themselves, right? I don't know if any characters jump out at me as like super meta relevant, but if there's one that is, it's probably Kirogiri. Kirogiri 2 playing Jolt on demand, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Tim Keefe said it early on. I guess Jolt stonks. Yeah. Do we have it on Ultra? Let me take a look because we got League of Legends. We have characters. Yeah, we do. Okay, yeah. Let's actually do this for a minute. Let's do this. Which character was the most hyped this past weekend for set 4? I think people were the most hype about Dobby in general. As far as like characters that like the best for sealed was Muscular by far, just on average. I don't even know if they were like all 3 O's, but it's just clearly like such a good deck for this environment. Yeah, Kirigiri. If you fuck around with your electric jolts really well, and you tutor your discard pile really well, this guy's gonna be pretty insane. He's really good on the all symbol because the all symbol struggles to, how do I put this? The all symbol struggles to play defense for a long time. Like Mediator is a destroy cost. Specialist of Sound is repeatable and pretty good, but it doesn't do everything. And then Spooky is like the last really good repeatable thing. Everything before Spooky came out was like just Specialist of Sound and block. So I think Kirigiri is going to give a lot more defensive play to those symbols, being able to pick up like really specific block zones. But I don't think All doesn't have any breaker yet. Or is that breaker 2? Do All breaker 2? Breaker. Oh, Kirigiri gets a breaker 2. There you go. Boom. So yeah, all symbol Kirigiri might be pretty playable. What else? Like that's the character. Okay, so if it's not Shigaraki that I'm playing a ton of, it's gonna be. I put the wrong. There we go. If I don't play exclusively Shigaraki, I'm playing the shit out of Kirigiri too. I just really like the idea that I can block with any card from my discard pile. That is my favorite ability I think they've printed in My Hero. For constructed, yeah, as far as, so like, there's a chance that Moonfish is like super nasty. But he kind of non-bows with his own cards. So I'm not sure if he has like the support right now. But he has really interesting symbols, and he activates a lot of the stuff I like. So yeah. It's possible. It's possible that he has like some really nice pokes that can set up the discard plan, and then you play was it Blood Moon Rending? This could be a sick Blood Moon Rending deck, but I don't know if he plays like own attacks in it. It's kind of weird. Hey Sam, anything you hyped for? Just got home. Yeah, we were pretty much talking about Shigaraki 3 and Kirigiri. Those are the 2 characters I'm the most hyped for. See if what are the actions and attacks look like? Oh, Cremation's kind of fucked up. Cremation's kind of scary. Oh, All Out Battle is tight. I also like All Out Battle. I kind of wish it was a mid block, but you flip a foundation and then you get to flip a rival foundation on block, and draw a card, and it leaves the card pool. This card's pretty sick. I like this a lot. It reminds me of one of my favorite cards that never got played called Zembatsu. But this probably won't be super played either. I can see this maybe getting sided in against like an all low deck, because we saw very little in the high attack game plan outside of Giro decks, and even then a lot of the high attacks were like 0 gravity lift in the grand finals, right? So what do you think the strongest symbol will be when set 4 comes out? Chaos. Pound for pound chaos. Like, it's already pretty much the strongest. I don't think so. I don't think set 4 is going to be like one of those meta defining, like, shake it up style sets. Set 3 was kind of like that because it gave like 3 really powerful cards, like the same 3 symbols, you know? It's like One with Nature. I like Friend of Animals is specifically really good at Midnight. I don't know if that one counts. What was it? One with Nature, Seizing the Advantage, and Basic Training. Those were like huge, right? And we saw that. That became the 2 symbols that dominated. The best symbol will be whatever Kevin, Jose, or Jacob win the first star. Well, that'll be just Jacob Johnson playing like Earth. It'll be like Tokoyami or Hiroshima 2 still winning the first one, even after the errata. So, but I imagine it could be something different. But Chaos looks so nice right now. Anna Voice is kind of tight. I like it because people like to buff their attacks to the moon. The bandwagon RNG is absolutely random. People will bandwagon second place more than first place, like so often. so often. Everyone's looking out for Evil. I don't think Evil actually gets that much better, but it sure gets Showdown. Showdown could be super tight. Death could be a really strong symbol coming out, but its pieces are really weird. Like, I feel like the Death symbol decks like care what your character is so much, and the Air symbol and the Chaos symbol decks don't really care what your character is, but there's just some characters that are like really good for those decks, right? Like Air and Chaos have a ton of symbol bleed, and like Ochako decks and Denki decks and Jiro decks are all super similar. But then you look at like Death symbol decks, and it's like Toga and Eraserhead are just not that similar. Lomu was played on Death, and it's definitely not that similar. So Order was the biggest loser in set 3, but it also gets Showdown. So it also gets some really sick tools. Order has a ton of draw power, so you'd think it would be just dominating this format, but it's like really conditional when it gets to use its stuff. Evil is a puzzle because it's supposed to be like a control symbol that like denies people things, but they won't let you just deny people things. They won't let you just cancel things. And if Evil had like Nullify or something to like really back that up, maybe. Maybe I'm just used to having cancels available on Evil, and it's not that symbol anymore. It's like the destruction symbol, so. This card might be insane, and it's one of the reasons I think Chaos could stay on top. Because like Chaos going like past turn 3 could just become like so obnoxious to deal with. I think Todoroki 1 might come back in style, actually. I think Todoroki 1 on Chaos is like just waiting to be oppressive. He just needs to be able to ready some foundations, and like when you're putting a fuckload of damage on Freezer Burn, it's just so annoying. So like League of Villains giving him just like a second cancel And if you're already prepared to commit these foundations, it could fit. It's still very costly. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I think Chaos could be really, really good. Sam, any thoughts on Hold Hostage? I've seen some people worried about it because of Cold and Indifferent, but I'm too much of a new head to know the issue. Oh no. Oh, is Cold and Indifferent what I think it is? Is Cold and Indifferent Sweet Nothings? What? This isn't. Is this the card we're worried about? Did I type it in wrong? Oh, it was old heads complaining about an old card that isn't functionally like this fucking card at all. Well, there's your free bingo square. This is, I don't know, stronger than Hold Hostage if you know what's in their hand. I mean, we have Thoughtseize on phase, right? Like this. I mean, this card would be a terrible meta because you know what's in your opponent's hand, and you might just dunk them if they draw 2 copies of it. Like, sure, absolutely. Hold Hostage seems kind of mid. Like, so the way I feel about Hold Hostage is the way that people, I think the way that people are gonna use it is gonna be pretty bad. But like when you do use it really well, it's gonna feel like you got blown up. So like it's gonna be the kind of thing where if you hold hostage on the first attack, you'll get a lot of great information. But if you just lose the mini game of taking damage, like after that, like you know, if you have high block, mid block, and you look and they have 2 low attacks, you know, they're just gonna attack to get the card you ripped back. You know what I mean? Like it. I don't think Hold Hostage is gonna warp the format around it. I think it's gonna be a very, very powerful and very interesting card to play. Um, but it's not on a Faith Shield symbol, right? It's not on like a Wall Cling symbol. Um, you're gonna have to like take a bunch of damage to, or not take a bunch. You're gonna have to like defend from some attacks to really use this well. And if your opponent's like touching your stage, or God forbid they cancel this after you played on a 5, like, seems funny as shit in Ojiro, I guess. I think it's gonna be really nice, but you're gonna be forced to block with it more than actually get to use it on turn 2. I've played so many games where like I defensively look at my opponent's hand and I can't do anything to it and I still lose. You know, I just get to see that I lose on the first attack. So this at least does something against it. I guess in my head I'm feeling like if they deal damage to me, this was useless. But considering the sequencing, like considering you can like disrupt like a double jab sequence, you know, and they can like get it too late, it's probably better than I'm thinking in my head, but I don't think this is gonna like shift people onto these symbols. It might just convince chaos decks that are already good to cite it. Um The big thing is because it's selective, you'll never get host by recovery time or recovery girl's kiss, whatever it's called. I like it though. I like the design space. I like the design space a lot. I will say that. I think the design space is cool because the counterplay is to deal damage, which is something that everyone except me can agree on is good for the game. So, like you can counter this card by continuing to be successful at playing your deck normally, which means that like when you utilize this card, it'll be pretty good. I will say this. The biggest issue for this card being popular is poke decks are already not popular. And if this shows up to like win the first event, people trying to play like poke turns, like electric jolt turns, like you have no other attacks, are going to be very upset. Like we will not be poking, we will only be stringing together attacks, and that's the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is people get so scared to attack and so scared to do anything early that they wait until they have like a 4+, 5+ attack string that can't be disrupted. So other than that, it's 5 difficulty. Jiro's a string deck that I'm gonna call bullshit on Jiro's a poke deck. I'm sorry. Like I know you like to get momentum before you kill people, and yeah, you're probably not turn 2 in the most, but the Jiro decks that were successful were playing instant and explosive release. No, the Jiros that were good had instant explosive release, and the one that made it to finals had 4 zero gravity lift and 4 electric jolt and 4 instant explosive release to make it work. So like Jiro's the best string deck in the game, and because her string is so powerful, and because she has access to cards like Zero Gravity Lift and Electric Jolt that are really good pokes, but also just fit all of her fucking keyword theme, like, she's not a poke deck. She's just not. I'm so sorry. I can't. She has good pokes that are based on the fact that you're never allowed to block a 5 damage Electric Jolt unless they check the 2 to play it. And you're gonna breaker them. Like, it's so rare. As far as 6 hand size aggro, there's no draw in face. Like, yeah, she's probably not turn 2ing you, but she's gonna get a massive lead against you, and she's gonna look at what you draw, and she's gonna. Yeah, no, I can't. I can't see her as a poke deck. Like, hit you once and then smear you on the pavement is not a poke. Midnight is a poke deck, probably just based on necessity from her commit 1 foundation cost, and because you get so much value out of stuff like command pigeon flock. So I can maybe see that one. I was surprised at how often Broberg was playing 1 attack and passing. I'll say that. You usually have to have like a critical mass of foundations the way that he did to put together those really nasty strings. One of my most exciting cards for set 4 to me is Forced Quirk Activation, because I feel like it has the potential to make Meteor Shower Danky good again. Hell yeah, let's go. What does this card do? Forced Quirk Activation. What does it do for Danky? Chaos. Okay, it's only Chaos. Enhance, remove, add 1 card from your disc. Oh, okay, yeah. And then Enhance, destroy. Choose 1 enhanced ability on a rival foundation. If your rival does not play that ability as their next enhance, they destroy that foundation. Yeah, I like this for Denki a lot. I like this for everybody on that symbol, actually. This card. So one of the things I've talked about in the past is there's a lot of decks that are looking for add any card to momentum from discard pile. I don't know if Evil and Void were the symbols looking for it, but Void gets to add stuff like Rebound Sidekick, from the discard pile to momentum. This could make Zero Gravity Barrier a really, really cool card to play. It's kind of heavy costed, but this plus Wealthy Aspirations means you can rip a Zero Gravity Barrier from discard pile as a backup plan. And all of a sudden, you're not dying to really lousy Jiro strings. You're only dying to like the best ones. So I think, yeah, it's not charged up, right? Like, this is so much better than charged up. This is something you can do on defense. I do think the bottom enhance. So like this card, right? Choose one ability on Rival Foundation. If they don't play that one, they destroy it. I don't know if that's actually better or worse than Wear Light in this format. Because this is an old card that said E-Flip instead of Destroy. Choose one enhance ability printed on one of your opponent's foundations. They must play the chosen ability or pass. So what you would do is you would pick an ability they can't play. Like legally they can't pay the cost for. And they would be forced to pass. And then you pass. And then the enhanced step is over. So this was a really good way to control the enhanced step, both on offense and defense, depending on how things go. And I don't know if this is going to be a better version of that, because in like we talked about, like this is anti-poke turn, right? Where you can just say, hey, here's an ability you can't play, go down a foundation, 1-for-1 them. But they can keep doing their whole turn. So if it's a kill turn, you better pick a really good foundation that they can't use yet or don't want to use yet, like Pull No Punches or something. If it's not just a poke turn, you know, or I mean, I guess if it is a poke turn, then you probably just get to snipe something almost for free. Like Enhanced Destroy is not free, but that's a pretty good rate 1-for-1. So yeah, they're very different purposes. One is like a resource denial, and one is like enhanced denial, you know, like one is enhanced step controlling. So and then on top of that, I think it has a better secondary effect. I think that the other Wear Light effect was pretty seldom used. It was really nice when it was cool. You know, when it worked out, it was game changing, don't get me wrong. But I think this one, to remove it and add a card from discard pile to momentum, this could be meta defining. You know, this could actually end up being meta defining, considering how much face up momentum that we have floating around at any given time. So this one I'm excited for, yeah. This one this one makes Denki 2 look really good, actually. So, but yeah, this is definitely a solid one for any Meteor Shower deck. You can add Gravity Lift, which is also insane. Like, this is going to make me think we could go back to like set 1 looking decks on Chaos, which, for what it's worth, man, that Jiro list from Philip was pretty close. Like 4 Grav Lift, 4 Jolt, 4 Instant. I think it was 4 Sound Waves. Might have been 3. A lot of people played 3, but 4 is the right number. And then like Home Run Comment to finish it off, and some jabs to get in there. Like, Jesus. Well, the bottom part is Evil and Void, and the top part is Chaos. I like this design a lot, actually. I like this design because, to me, I feel like all 3 symbols are represented throughout it, because this is like just a Chaos ability, right? And then the choose one enhanced ability on a rival foundation is kind of like a Void thing. Like, you get to point and look at something, you know, and then like forcing them to make a choice if they play it or not has in the past been an evil symbol thing. But I think also it's showed up on Void cards, kind of like Wear Light. And then they destroy that foundation. That's a pretty evil thing, so. Oh, yeah, Chaos has more uses. Yeah, for sure. You know. Air Denki got me most of my results outside of Nats. Yeah, me too, bud. Still love the guy. Just struggled after losing Unwavering. He was like borderline unfair with Unwavering, though. Like, if I didn't go up against another Unwavering slash deck that had like self-sacrifice, if I had made that Orlando list a bit better, I could have beat that one matchup. Like that was the worst matchup for me in Top Cuts was Jiro. Because Jiro does really good at playing double jet pummel, but she also does really good at playing against it because she gets to block them sometimes. She gets to know if it's a free block or not. So you know, she's obviously been eating all right after that too. But yeah, so I thought that deck was like close to unfair. And I'm kind of sad I didn't get another event after it, but it was a good ban list. Was it also? I think. Let me look at the attacks because doesn't Toga have? I think Dinky finally got a draw 2 cards. I could be wrong. It might not be on Chaos, which would be so sad if it's just a life card. I think it's just a life card. I think it's just a Toga card. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's a shame. Or is it? Was it rushing stab? Yeah, it's the 1 check. I was really hoping that this had chaos because it's a face-up momentum card, but it's not. Why does this have water? Oh my god, dude! Why does water have both of the draw 2 card attacks? And why is frigid like clearly easier to run than this one? I don't know if it's easier, but oh. Thanks, Fly High. I appreciate that, man. I had a good time doing it, so I'm really happy you guys enjoyed it. It was very important to me that it felt like a big deal, you know? It was really important to me that we hit like high notes for the event. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the commentary. Yeah, this is a card that this is I feel like part of the reasons that this card has the symbols it does is so it doesn't share any symbols with forced quirk activation, right? Yeah, like you can't play it with frigid, which is like fine, I guess. But you can play it with like zero gravity lift. um I wonder, can life change the zone of its own attack? Can Ochako change the zone on this? Does anyone here? Can I just look? Because you can't infinite potential it, right? Change the zone. We did it, boys. We're playing Life Ochako 1. Bada bing, bada boom. Holy shit. We're just going to take a peek at that hand and we're going to draw some cards real fast. If your character is committed. Okay, so this doesn't really go with Ochako 1, but that's pretty funny. Okay, well, if you want to run a 3 difficulty asset with your 1 check, you are allowed to snap this with Ochako 1. That's so funny that there's actually a way to do that. Also, if you play this card in Monoma and you get lucky enough to get paired into an Ochako 1, you can just give it the charge keyword. So there's that. Chaos All for 1. Yeah, Chaos All for 1, play all the 1 checks. How many 1 checks can you play on Chaos right now? Well, this doesn't include. This is fake format. Do we have fake format? Does this work? Okay, well. Fuck me, I guess. Boo! Fix the site, Rob. What do I have it set to that it won't pick up? Oh, it doesn't have chaos. So it's just infinity symbol? Yeah, it's Chaos only has access to the infinity symbol one checks. Oh, you meant it's just a chaotic deck. Okay, I see what you mean. You're saying it would be pure chaos to run that many one checks in the all for one deck. I got you. I got you. Because on if you play evil, you get to play a whole lot of one checks. So that's true. He's going to be playing a whole lot of ones. What do you guys think about Warp Gate Portal? You guys like this card? Who out there likes this card? I think this card's pretty cool. I think I like the fact that it's a. I like the fact that it's a +0 mid block. I like the fact that it's 5 difficulty. I think the fact that it's 5 mid is fine. It's as a 1 check, as a 2 check, it could be like a 4 mid 5, whatever. Some villainous waylay stuff. I'm not a huge fan of it, like having a keyword, just because this kind of effect. I just feel like there's some world where we're gonna regret it or have to like tune ally attacks around it or something, right? Because as soon as you print like a double jab pummel for allies, like if this had charge, I would be all over this with double jab. I'm not gonna lie. I'm already down to play sound waves and play 12 zeros. Like I just snapping sound waves on demand when I need it, or double jab to play things safe. Like, ooh. Cool. I do think this is actually really funny with Ragdoll. I think it's super funny with Ragdoll that you can go grab this to grab 2 attacks. I don't think that that's like a good plan for your deck. I don't think that that's worth a 1 check, but it really is funny. And it will be even funnier if Air or Evil get like an ally support thing. This could make Tokoyami 2 really consistent with some of the. He has very few really strong combos, and this could do it. This could be one of them. This could help set up some of them. So I still don't know if that makes him playable, but it could. Seems kind of cracked. Any attack you want at +1 difficulty is still really So like here's the thing, right? It's really strong to get any attack you want. But there's a lot of turns where if you just drew the best attack in your hand, it doesn't matter because of the board state, if that makes sense. Um because like because our threats that deal damage aren't like permanents on the board, it's not like the kind of thing where you can play this early and then go, okay, cool, I have this permanent that is going to have some amount of value or get some, like, it's not long term, I guess, is really the thing. So I think it's fine. I don't think it's like super cracked because of that, just because of the way that the turn flow works in this game. Obviously, tutors are really powerful, but in our game specifically, searching your deck for something is like, for some reason, it's not as good as grabbing stuff from your discard pile, like half the time. Like once you've tipped, most of the cards into your discard pile, like it happens so much faster than other games. So it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of times where I don't have a good way to play a card like this until my deck is too small for it to matter. So the 1 check is also a super big deck building cost for something that is not affecting your opponent. So this is another one of those cards where like if I can clear it from my card pool, if I could kick this for free after it resolves, like it would be 10 times better. Because it adds that +1 to progressive, most likely, it doesn't have a coda symbol. It's probably like strong but fair. So, your first 2 XR characters were Stain 1 and Tokoyami 2. Rest in peace, my guy. Rest in peace. Oh yeah, so anyone who looks at the top of their deck, it's really good, right? Anyone who's like making sure that you're not going to check ones. Would you guys play this in Jiro? It doesn't have the keyword, but it lets you go get sound waves out of your deck. Would you guys play like a spicy one of with this in Jiro? No, no shot. No shot? You're already playing 2 checks. Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah, with Jiro, you can't really guarantee the check because you have to search your deck and then shuffle it to then make the check. So you can't guarantee the check anyways. With pretty much any character except Kirigiri, which is kind of tight. Or no, I guess Kirigiri can't. You can discard a card for to play this attack, I guess. Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that goes, when I draw this, I win. You know who I think really likes this fucking card? Nomu. I think Nomu on Evil digs the shit out of this card. Yeah. For Nomu, it's an attack you have to respect. Nomu is mostly concerned with base speed being high. You know, like the Nomu decks that succeed the most are just like strictly playing like the fastest attacks on average. You know, like they pretty much never play a 3-speed attack unless it has like some effect that happens when it gets blocked. And even then, they don't play those anymore. So this Warp Gate portal means I get to get Hulking Uppercut. And as long as I don't check a 1 on the Hulking Uppercut, or the Hulking Grimace, sorry, Hulking Grimace. Too much uppercut talk. And he is kind of doing one in the art, but yeah, this says I get to go get Hulking Grimace and just Yahtzee you and hope I don't check another 1. Or you just play like 1 copy of this. I'll have you know, sir, Nomu with 1 checks was 1 dice roll away from making top cuts at the standard Sunset event in Dallas. And I let my good friend Clinton Thomas have the win because he was supposed to give me Templars. And he didn't give me Templars. Because we're not allowed to actually collude, so he can't give me the Templars because a judge was standing there. So he couldn't actually make that agreement. So I'll have to wait till the next time they give out those promos because I want those fucking Templars, man. Well, I'm not a fan of Nomu either. I just didn't have... I was supposed to borrow a Siegfried deck, but I didn't have the deck list ready in time for Christopher Bromley to like lend me the cards because I don't have like any standard stuff, guys. I don't have anything pretty much from standard. So I didn't have the deck list ready in time, and Jacob Monsieur just happened to have Bad Checks Nomu, just Hellfire Impalement Nomu. Which is kind of sick, but also very derpy. But the only thing I think I could have actually had a good run, like I could have had a deep run in top cuts at that event if I had Revokes in my deck, and if I just recognized what Travis Tangeman's DJ deck was doing. He was trying to use this attack as like the main kill card. What is it? This one. So it's a powerful 2, which doesn't matter much, except that deck gets a shitload of momentum. I think it's 2 damage for each character card in your staging area and 1 speed for each character card in your discard pile. And this character is really good at getting momentum. This character, DJ, adds characters to her stage pretty easily. And then she gives an attack EX2 after she gets a bunch of momentum. And so you can modify the stats on this. She can give it like, not EX2, I'm sorry. She gives it EX for every character. So there's like a combo where you stack like every character in your deck. So you have 8 characters in your stage. So it gets 16 damage, which makes it 18 damage. Then you give it EX8. And then you dump all your momentum for speed and wherever you need it to be. And then you double the damage to make it 36 damage. and then you run cards that cancel responses, and you run cards that like hack checks to deal with plus ultra. So it's a really cool control deck with like a singular focus win condition. And if I just stayed as Nomu, it would have made it so much harder for him to kill me. But I sided into Scorpion because I wanted to be a 6-hander and I wanted to block punish a 7-hander, and I thought that would be better than running a 5-hander with bad checks, because Dejanette also makes you recheck. Whenever you play an attack, she makes you add it to your hand. After your opponent plays a card as a form, discard it. Your opponent may lose X vitality to add the card discarded from their discard pile to their hand. And X equals the number of characters in your stage. So that's the other win condition. Is if they get too low of health, you can 1-for-1 them with all your momentum. It's such a cool fucking character, actually. It is actually the best character design from the set, bar none. You cannot convince me otherwise. Super cool decks can be played with her. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's just like a really fucked up deck that isn't overpowered, in my opinion. But yeah, I went with Scorpion because I thought paying the life to get cards back would help me, because Scorpion wants to be low life. I thought being a 6-hander would be better into this kind of effect, because you are just begging to check bad when you play against Dejanette. And I thought that giving her a bunch of momentum with Nomu was a really bad idea because of that win condition and because of the way she works. So I just had the bad read on the deck. And even then, if I stayed as Nomu, I could have lost harder, because I did luck sack the fuck out of him game 1. You know, and then game 3 we tied. So Nomu bad checks, pretty good in standard. Nomu bad checks in MHA, probably not. I don't know, man. I had a ton of fun, though. I was a huge fan of this whole weekend. What else is there to say for right now? Oh, stuff for the channel. While I got you guys here, stuff for the channel coming up. I don't want to spoil too much going on, and I don't want to set too many expectations for this, but I obviously want to do like an edited meme video for at least one of the days. I'll probably try to do a like really fast, like micro ones, like 2 to 3 minutes. When do you get deckless? Ooh, I could maybe do that. You guys haven't gotten deckless officially yet? Tomorrow might be it then. Give me a second. So, I'm very confused. I have a link that's supposed to, maybe this is it. Yeah, here's a little sneak peek. Here's when you guys can get deckless. Tomorrow. I'm going to live stream tomorrow, and we'll talk about all the deckless. Here you go. Here's a sneak preview. We'll talk about them tomorrow on stream. And then I have super secret insider information. And then tomorrow, yeah, so tomorrow we'll do that. We'll talk deckless. I'm definitely doing a breakdown for that. I want to do a breakdown of card usage. I want to talk about like every card that was registered, how much it was registered. The most registered card could theoretically have been Erase for this whole weekend, right? Like not something people were expecting. Something I didn't see a ton of, especially on stream at least, was Back Alley Haymaker. That was super surprising. So tomorrow I do want to do a stream for that, for talking about decklist, talking about like which specific cards were registered the most, which cards we thought would be registered more. And then while I was at the Hero League Championship, I did some player interviews myself. I did them with a very cool new member of the community. Her name is Cindy Moon. I'll have all of her socials. She has like a TikTok and Instagram, and she's like a real social media person. Really, like, that's the best way to put it. She has like an actual following. She's from the Unfun Stuff guys in Florida. She goes to Bromley's shop every now and then. She's very cool. She didn't she didn't know Chaco cosplay like on the last day, which was fucking sick. I literally thought she was Nilmerg the first time I saw her because I'm just so used to Nilmerg being the Ochako girl. So like I just see an Ochako cosplay and they're like the same height. And I was about to say, hey Nil, and then she turned around and I was like, oh, that's not Nilmerg. So we did some interviews with some players that you guys will probably find super interesting. I think I'm gonna combine that with the thing I'm most excited for, maybe, or at least the thing I can talk the most about, which is Stutter Stinker Live. Unfortunately, my phone doesn't have a ton of data space, so I didn't get anywhere near as much as I wanted. Nick Reagan gave me like 40 fucking cards to do it with, and I think I did like 5 or 6 just because I was working the event. Players wanted to go out to eat, people wanted to go do other stuff, enjoy Vegas, and then on top of that, my phone quality and like my phone storage was an issue itself, so but look out for that. I'm going to have that edited up hopefully by the end of this week. I don't know what I'm going to prioritize. Hopefully I can do all this stuff. So edited funny meme video for the weekend. Tomorrow's live stream will be focused on talking about the deck list and talking about like choices for each card if I can. We have player interviews and Stutter Stinker coming up. And then I have a special video project I worked on with Levi, but I don't want to spoil that surprise. That one's probably going to take me a couple weeks at least as well. But we did take the opportunity while we were both there in person to do some content together. And then Thursday, I'm hoping to get Levi. We haven't confirmed. I don't know his schedule. But I have confirmed Kevin Broberg will be here for Orange Card, Blue Card podcast. And we're probably looking to start either 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Pacific time. I know he's Eastern time, so I can't keep him up too late, but he is easily the GOAT. It's undisputed at this point. Like, I'm sorry if Tim Keefe is still in the chat, my dude. Like, maybe you win next year's HLC and we can have that debate again, but right now in this moment, Kevin Broberg gets all the hats tipped to him. He's a winner in every format of all time. He is the winner of the first provisional. I think he won the most regionals. Just dude killed it at every single step of the way. So how could you bet against him in the final leg of the race? But he will be joining me on Orange Card, Blue Card. So very excited to have that. I think he's actually going to be on Unfun Stuff tonight too, doing the meme review. So I'm kind of killing time for the last few minutes here. Because Unfun Stuff is supposed to be going live in a minute, and I want to take you guys there and right over there. So, right now, while I got you guys in the chat, what do you guys want to see me do? What do you want to see from the channel in the future? What should I be doing? Should I do character spotlights? That's kind of like Levi's thing now, right? We got no one to really do the deck list videos, but we assume Jasco is going to put out deck lists, so we can do like reaction stuff to that. And they're not using UVS Ultra for stuff, so I don't get to have like the nice Andrew Holder videos. But what do you guys want to see? I've focused a lot of my content recently on like trying to like expose members of the community, to like highlight members of the community, right? Like I had Andrew Bowling on, I had Zach Pasley a couple times. Getting a couple more players from the HLC. I don't want to forget names. I just started naming names, and I'm going to forget names. So I don't want to feel like a dick. But, yeah, what should I be focusing on? I would like to do some more new player friendly content, because that seems to be the most common time that people mention content creators. Is someone's like, hey, where can I find information on this game? Where do I find like information on decks? That's always when like people recommend Tam and they recommend Levi and they used to recommend Andrew. And even Ty's House of Cards had like the really nice like how to play video. So the only other thing is once I consistently start streaming a bit more and I think of like really good tier rewards, I do want to update my Patreon. I've actually had a Patreon this whole time, and I just haven't been comfortable enough to like advertise it. You know, I what's the best way to put it? Like, I just, I haven't been doing as much content as I want in the first place. So I haven't really felt comfortable with like advertising it. So let me know. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'll give you an idea that I plan on doing when I get a better camera, a sealed only challenge. After set 4 drops, I plan on doing a deck where I only play what I pull and see how far I can take it in a provisional or regional. That's a cool idea. I would actually love to. I would actually love to do that. I would love to steal that content, really. So I might try. I thought about doing something like that, at least for locals for sure. I did one where I was like, let me play with only cards that are on my desk. So I'll say this: if Jasco sends me boxes for set 4, I'll set those boxes aside and do that. That way, I do the opening on stream, and that way everyone knows like what my card pool is, and then that way I can just deck build from there. That might be really cool, and then maybe like every month we add a box to it or something. Have you talked about duplicate and some of the strong chaos starter cards? No, I haven't really had a chance to really go over like in depth with the set, and I'm actually just about done streaming. I was hoping that some of the unfun stuff would be set up by 5, but I have to go pretty soon to get ready to go to my locals. My locals is starting soon, so yeah, sealed deck versus sealed deck, that could be pretty cool. That could actually be pretty cool. So yeah, I've thought about doing something similar to that. I just could never nail down like the best way to do that. So that's a really cool idea. That is a really cool idea. Maybe I can set aside because I don't know like how many would be too much, right? Like if you say, well, I'm only gonna play sealed, but I have a whole case. How impressive is that really? Like how impressive is it if you're like, well, I bought 2 cases, I bought a whole case, you know? What would be interesting to me is a sealed league where you're allowed to trade with people in the same league. So like that there's only so many of a certain card in a pool. You could like not trade somebody this card to deny them having that. That could be pretty sick. Have like a sealed league where you add packs or like, winners get more packs to add to their card pool than everyone else, and like maybe you can trade between people in the sealed league, call it high school format. That could be cool. $30 per week. Wow, shit. That's over $100 a month. This dude's whaling. This dude's straight whaling out here. Oh man. Oh, that's super interesting. Yeah, anyways, guys, it's after 5 o'clock here. I do gotta get headed out. I'm gonna have people waiting on me. So thank you so much for joining me. Once again, Stutter Stinker Live at the HLC is going down. Oh, you just showed up, Nick. I'm taking off. Unfun stuff is supposed to be streaming in just a minute here. So yeah, coming up, we're gonna have Stutter Stinker Live with the HLC. We're gonna have some like B-roll player interviews that I think you guys are gonna love. Definitely watch out for Cindy Moon's content because she's probably gonna bring a lot of hype to the game. I don't know if she's gonna do like content like specifically for us, but she's like tagging Bromley and stuff, and I got to work with her and she's super funny. And then what was the last thing? Oh, I've got the project with Levi that I don't want to spoil too much on, but we definitely did something I think you guys are going to find really cool. And then highlights videos, which will just be like actual highlights from the event. And then the edited meme videos. So I got a lot on my plate. I'm going to try and stream regularly throughout it. I'm going to try and put like a whole bunch of time in this next month, but it's going to take me probably the whole month to get all of those things out to you guys working full time. So once I get all that stuff done, I'll hopefully have like revamped my Patreon a bit, and it will be like more presentable to everyone, basically. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys enjoy the Unfun Stuff podcast coming up. They still haven't gone live, so I think they're getting the boys together. But yeah, no raid, but definitely check them out. Definitely, if you guys need to, the link is in the MHA CCG content Discord. They're about to have the meme review. They're gonna have Judge. Oh no, Nilmer can't make it because she got stuck in her Vegas flight got canceled. Jose should be there. Tam should be there. Andrew Holder might be there. Mitchell should be there. There's gonna be a bunch of guys. Nick Reagan might even be there. Who knows? But I'll see you guys next time. Tomorrow, deck list. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about HLC deck list, and we're gonna go over all the different cards that got used. I think we only have day 2, so we only have the top cuts right now, but yeah, that'll definitely be the first time you guys get to see those deck lists, and that'll be pretty cool. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm going to go play Gunhead at my locals, and I'll probably have a deck profile if it goes well. If I 3-0 my locals, I'll do a little deck profile tomorrow as well, but I've been here too long. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.